Welcome to NFL Total Access presented by Jeep. Round one of the 2021 NFL Draft is in the books. I'm MJ Acosta-Ruiz on this special post-draft edition of Total Access from Los Angeles. The full crew, they'll be with me shortly to get all emotions from tonight's first round. There are some great stories to talk about here, but first, we'll take it to the host city. Hey, Rich Eisen, I'll send it over to you and the guys in Cleveland.
All right, thanks very much. We're here as night one is wrapped up, getting ready for, obviously, night 2 and 3 back here in Cleveland, Ohio. Coach David Shaw of Stanford, Charles Davis, and Daniel Jeremiah with first impressions of the first round. You first, DJ. What do you have for me?
My first impression is never play poker with Kyle Shanahan. That's my first impression. All the signs we were hearing were pointing towards Mac Jones going with the third pick. They end up going with Trey Lance, and I love that fit there with the 49ers. This draft was all about the quarterbacks. We knew 1 was going to be Trevor Lawrence, 2 was going to be Zach Wilson. The intrigue started at 3. We didn't know what was going to happen, and I like what the 49ers ended up doing there with Trey Lance.
What about you, Coach Shaw? What do you think?
Yeah, we knew where the quarterbacks were going to be run, but then what was the next run going to be? Receivers, and then the edge rushers finally came off. But I'm excited to see, because I have a lot more first-round grades than guys that are drafted already. There's a bunch of guys that go in the top half of that second round with first-round grades. There's more tackles, there are more edge rushers, there are more linebackers, there are more defensive backs. This is going to be a fun day, too.
Yeah, it is going to be a fun day, too. But what I think about day one, there's still potential in terms of people being selected, not necessarily total production. Jason Owe was an absolute marvel in terms of what he did working out, but no sacks. But as you guys talked about, perfect for the Baltimore Ravens because they know they can coach him. They feel like they can develop him and get him going that way. And last but not least, Mac Jones at 15 to New England. All those years they didn't take a quarterback because Tom Brady was there. You wouldn't take a first-round quarterback. Now they're in that position, and they went ahead and did it.
And obviously the Bears trading up from 20 as Justin Fields was sliding to get into the 11th spot and take Justin Fields. You think that's a good fit for them?
I do, and look, Coach Nagy's very creative. He's a very good offensive mind. This has been a boring offense to watch as of late. That's going to change with Justin Fields. He's going to provide a whole new dimension to that offense. You're going to be able to move him out of the pocket. You're going to be able to use him in that quarterback run game. I know Andy Dalton's there. I don't think it's going to take long for Justin Fields to take over that position, and off they go.
Don't forget where Nagy came from, too.
Andy Reid.
He came from Andy Reid, the Kansas City Chiefs. So all that creativity, all those things they have not been able to do, he's now sitting in that chair saying, I got a big, huge toy for Christmas that I got a chance to do a lot of things that other people have been able to do that I haven't been able to do. And we'll look for that offense to really explode this year.
Remember this, guys. That NFC West last year, arguably the best division in football. How about Arizona just missing the playoffs in the offseason, go out and get J.J. Watt to team with Chandler Jones. Hassan Reddick takes all of his sacks and goes to Carolina. They go and get Zaven Collins, who may be one of the steals in the first round of the draft, the youngster out of Tulsa. He is a flat-out playmaker in that linebacker position.
Well, it was a night of firsts. First time we saw 7 offensive players start an NFL draft. First time we saw 6 players from Alabama be in the first round. First time we saw 4 wide receivers from the same conference in the SEC be chosen in the first round. First time in the common draft era we saw in the first round a quarterback and running back from the same team chosen by the same team in the first round of the draft. It's been a crazy night of firsts, and we can't wait for night number 2. Thank you, Coach David Shaw, for hanging with us for yet another first night. I want to thank Melissa Stark as well for being on the stage, and Ian Rappaport inside the stadium home of the Browns. Kurt Warner will send him back home. Joel Klatt will join us, me, Charles Davis, and Daniel Jeremiah for night number 2. More fireworks, if you will, here in Cleveland, Ohio. That'll wrap it up for night number 1. Now back to NFL Total Access in Los Angeles.
All right, thank you so much, Rich. Look at that, Trey Lance taking in his moment when he was selected. Trey to the Bay. I don't know if I started the hashtag, but I'm going with it, guys, that's for sure. I mean, that hat looks good on him. A quarterback going to San Francisco. This is what a lot of people thought. Maybe they didn't think it was Trey Lance, but he was, in fact, the pick for the 49ers. All right, the squad is here with me. Willie McGinnis, Cynthia Freeland in studio. We've got David Carr, Mark Ross on deck, a full team here. And we have all the answers now, right? Including that decisive decision from San Francisco. Trade of the Bay, I'm telling you, it's going to catch on. David, I want to get your perspective here. Do you like this for the Niners?
Yeah, I was kind of thrown off the Trey Lance trail, honestly, because of how Kyle Shanahan talked about Jimmy Garoppolo. I thought maybe they'd bring a guy in with some maybe a little bit more experience. I know a lot of these quarterbacks didn't have a ton of experience, but Trey was the one with pretty much the least amount. And I thought with obviously the most upside, I think talent-wise is what Kyle Shanahan latched onto. I don't know that you necessarily can play him right away, but I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is going anywhere either. I think this is going to be one of those situations where he kind of lets him come along slowly and understands that he has a ton of talent. I mean, all the talent you could ever want from a quarterback in this position. He just has to learn to play the game a little bit. You know, not a lot of starts in college. But, man, the sky's the limit. And so when I look at Kyle Shanahan, I really think that he's a guy that thinks that he can coach anybody at this position. So why not get the most talented guy, and then we can just train him how to play the position. And that's exactly what he did with Trey Lance.
Yeah, David, and he absolutely opens up the playbook for Kyle Shanahan. And it was the old throw-off game. Everybody talked Mac Jones and Justin Fields, and I thought it would be Justin Fields. But when Trey Lance jumped in there, I was like, you know what, this makes a lot of sense. He can do everything that Kyle Shanahan wants to do within the playbook. He can move the pocket. He has so much talent that when you start talking as a defender, you got to figure out now, okay, we got to defend on the back end. We got to defend all the receivers and all the misdirection and all the different motions and shifts that Kyle Shanahan is going to do. And we got to keep somebody in the box at all times for Trey Lance because he can take off. He can make big plays, with his feet and do a lot of things outside of the pocket and throw accurately in tight windows as he moves the pocket. So this was a surprise because I thought it would be Justin Fields, but it's not really a surprise because it's still the prototype that I think fits correctly in Kyle Shanahan's offense.
Yeah, well, you heard the rumors about Mac Jones, which I didn't really believe. Then you started hearing about Trey Lance, but I didn't believe that either because they talked about the talent. But Justin Fields, in my mind, has more talent, but he also has the production and the pedigree that Trey Lance does not have. You know, Big Ten Player of the Year, 5-star recruit coming out of high school. So he's done it, but he also has the talent as well. So the concerns with Trey Lance are he does not have the experience and he needs to play. Well, playing in practice does not get it done. You have to play in games. So now he gets to San Francisco. If Jimmy G stays healthy, he still won't play. So now you're looking at a guy this year who played one game. If he doesn't play next year, you're going on 2 years where he only played one game, and he really needs to play in games, not practices. So this is a little bit risky for me when there was a much better option, in my view, with Justin Fields, who had the talent and the pedigree and production.
So let's do like a little bit of a resume reset here. 17 starts. He actually had a lot of diversity with starting under center and out of the shotgun. He's a rusher. He had 49 forced missed tackles per PFF. He had about 913 of his rushing yards of his 1,113 after contact, which means he can get to the second level. He was really efficient in play action, and he didn't turn the ball over, just one interception. So this is a low turnover guy, which could fit the mold. And I kind of think if you're going to give someone some trust, it's going to be Kyle Shanahan, because this is a person who has proven that he can make it work.
Speaking of trust, Shanahan said just last week that Jimmy is actually the perfect person to have a rookie QB come in under and really mold him in that QB